Bought my first house when I was, say, about 19 for $7 grand. I've been hustling, doing everything I can to stack my money because I always kind of knew I was going to end up working for myself. I ended up buying the second house for like about $5,000. It was a piece of crap. Put about $15,000 into it. I mean, my last. I made a bunch of mistakes on that property. I pushed forward. Finally, I got it completed. Ended up selling that house for $45,000 after realtor fees, closing costs. I ended up getting a check back for about $39,000. And with that $39,000 is when I really started investing in real estate. And that's where the snowball effect started. It's gonna start with one will turn into two, and then you have a guy like me, 15 years later, I am where I am now. You'll get a chance to really see an up close and direct look into how an investor works, hands-on, and how we negotiate with the tenants, homeowners, and so forth. Right now, what we're doing is we headed over to the property, that I'm building for my family. I must say that, God put this vision on me to build my family a home. It's something I wanted to do for us. Something we needed some inspiration and motivation in our life. A lot of people might not be aware of this, but I lost my wife in 2015, and so I needed something. I wanted to do something for my kids, for myself, to really help our spirits, help just give us that inspiration that we needed. And so, hey, one day God put it in my head, hey, you go build this property for you and your family. Real estate allowed me that opportunity. Flipping houses in the hood, flipping houses all over, just flipping properties gave me the opportunity to be able to build a dream home that me and my family love and will appreciate. This is a long time dream come true for me, something I always wanted to do. It's been a long, drawn out process, several ups and downs, several bumps and bruises, but in the end, I feel like it's gonna be all worth it.
Mike, he seems to be like really sure about all the houses that we fix and flip, but on his personal house, man, he's so unsure about everything. He changes his mind from week to week. I mean, man, he's driving me crazy, I mean, I know we're friends, but that's about to go out the window. You know what I mean?
Some situations with Carl, he just, Carl is a good guy, great dude. I love him to death. But at the end of the day, I believe he took on too much more than what he can handle.
I never wanted to make a commitment to build that house for Mike. So I basically was doing it, pro bono.
I asked him from the very beginning, do he feel like he can, maintain my properties, the ones that we make our bread and butter that we make the money with? And he said, yeah. And I said, do you think you can do that at the same time build me and my family our house? And he said, yeah. And I said, you sure?
I didn't want a commitment to build that house because I didn't want it to come in between our friendship. And I wanted him to experience what it's like to build your own house. I felt like that was a process that he would only experience maybe once in a lifetime.
They were parked way back there on the part where the dirt, the compaction is, where most of the dirt is, where the slab gonna be poured at. In the dead middle, on the dirt.
And I wanted him to get the full understanding of what it takes. And so when he looks back on the process, he'll appreciate it, that he was hands-on. It's very important that when you pouring dirt and stuff and getting your compaction rate together, that you level your dirt out properly and don't do anything to disturb it until that foundation is set and them forms are set. And then once that foundation gets set, then at that point you're a little bit more stable and you can then start moving around. But until then, you don't really want to cause too many issues with your dirt moving and people driving over your grades and stuff. And that's totally disrespectful for them to do that. But that happens all the time when you at a property and you have somebody who's supposed to be over there monitoring it and they're not on top of their game. You know, I didn't sign on to build the house myself. I want to help build it, but that's why I have contractors for them to be on top of this stuff. You know, not for me to have to be the one babysitting these projects. Otherwise, I'm like, you know, I'm gonna be spending all this time. I might as well build it completely. You know, used to me paying them. So, you know, so I really, you know, I'm not too pleased with that. So I'm definitely gonna have to have a talk with Carl and Kevin, my contractors, and let them know, man. You know, I don't need I don't never want my project sitting unsecured. Get a fence over there. Get some no trespassing signs, and a pretty day like today, it needs to be work over there getting done. You know, and right now a lot is just sitting over there, you know, and ain't nothing getting done. So this is every day in the house building business is an important day. What I was just, you know, trying to explain, Carl, is like when you know, a day later, there's $1 short on these building projects, and you know, you know, when you ain't got activity going on, you know, and projects sitting, you losing money, and you ain't gonna meet your projected build date.
No, I mean, but yeah, you can't, man. You talking about they just finished yesterday, Mike. You ain't even got the tempo, man. So you got to get that tempo out there. These guys got to have electric to cut lumber and different things.
Right.
I mean, they can bring generators, but yeah, see, you got to. That's why I say, man, that IES. I don't know what you negotiated with them, but you got to solidify that deal and get them over there and set the tempo.
I mean, he was there for me in a lot of ways, but then some of the things just didn't come out the way we had hoped for and anticipated.
You know, Mike, I try to be there to help him through the process, but man, he changes his mind from like week to week when the wind blows.
So I have to do some of these, like this 7 detail. I have to do some.
Well, it's gonna be dropped 12 inches down into
So we have to use this kind of river.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a river.
It's gonna be dropped. These are gonna be deep beams.
Yeah.
He'll go ride around. He'll look at all these different model homes, and then he'll look back at his house and he'll say, "Wow, my house doesn't have that. Let's change it." And he doesn't realize that every time you make a change, it costs thousands of dollars. It takes a lot of time, work, and energy to make those changes. So that's why the house is probably 3 months, you know, behind in the construction process. Not to mention that, you know, it's driving me crazy. At about, you know,
so Rusty's at 99, and how much is you got one at?
About 84. Yeah.
Man, that's about $15,000 difference.
Yeah.
What you think if I call Rusty and ask him to come down about 85,000 on everything? What you think?
I think he gonna tell you crazy.
Why is that?
Hey, that's his profit
so
margin.
you saying you think he got somebody like Warren doing the work?
Yeah.
And he's just gonna.
Yeah.
And basically, he gonna basically supervise. He go out there for a couple of times and make him 10,000-15,000 on the job.
That's exactly what he gonna do.
And got somebody like Warren actually doing the work, who we got in our pocket anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Nah, man, I think we're gonna just go with Warren and save that $10,000-15,000. Nah, man, it just kind of ran me hot when I went out there a while ago and a few minutes ago and seen all them people parked on my lot, and then they working next door, and just kind of like, you know.
Yeah.
So we gotta definitely get a fence up and get a no trespassing sign. So we just can't have that people, you know, going in and out using it like it's just a, you know,
Right.
like it's just
messing
a
up the
drive through.
Yeah,
Man, I can't have that. Getting ready to build this big nice home, and all of a sudden you got everything uneven, and you know, and paid all this money to get this excavation done, and they all, you know, just I can't have that. So let's get on top of this stuff, Carl, you know, and make sure, you know, get all your T's crossed, I's dotted, so you can, you know, make this a priority.
Juan he a man of his word. You know, he locked in.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I can count on Warren being there Wednesday with
count,
farm boards and seeing some activity at my lot.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Did you get a chance to call IES to get them to go ahead and set the tempo
I gotta make that call.
Go ahead and get them a call. Let's get them the tempo. Go ahead and call Donna. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna call her in a minute to negotiate some on her bid, and then we can get her locked in and get her out there to get the meter tap going. I'm about to go check on Manual, on Turk Club, and a few more other properties, and kind of just see what's going on out in the field. You know, they say you've been coming up MIA lately, man. you know,
man, been having a few things going on that I had to, try to tie down. So, sometimes it get like that,
Man, cars just come up ghost, boy.
No, it's all good.
I'm like, man, I don't know what car be creeping out here going to Columbia or something.
No, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Just be running around stressed, man. Sometimes I gotta go hide for a minute.
Man. Yeah, we almost, hopefully, God willing, we're about 6 months from complete. It's been a long, drawn-out deal for us getting this home built, but it's definitely a blessing, and building my family's home, and this is all through the means of real estate. And as I say, this is, in buying and selling property, the world is yours. You can accomplish anything in the world you set your mind to. And here I am, little old me from Stop 6, Texas, building this beautiful home here. And, I would have never dreamed I would be building something of this magnitude for my family and I'm just very thankful. And it's just all, through the workings of God and hard work and just pushing forward and just want to, do something amazing for my family. So, we just want to, just continue to move forward and continue to do the things we know we're capable of doing. And that's what I want to do, is show you guys how you too can be building your dream home for your family. So that's why I want to show you guys how to buy and sell real estate from, $10,000, $15,000 properties, which is where I started at, to $300,000 and $400,000 properties. And to this day, I still about $5,000 house, $10,000 house, as well as a $300,000 house. Ain't no certain type of, I'm too good for this or that. If I see money, I'm gonna buy it. I want to show people how to buy properties in any area, any condition. It's profit in all neighborhoods. This all started from me buying $5,000 houses to now, 16, 17 years later, to building my own $1 million home. I'm not boasting. I want to just open my, I'm a very private person, but I just want to open up what I'm doing to you guys so you can feel if he can do it, then I can do it. And that's what I want. That's the message I want to get out, and that's what I want to teach. Hey, Carl, have you been on top of the guys and making sure they out at the lot and everything and keeping everything moving forward?
Man, I'm trying my best, man. You got me strung out on so many other projects. Man, it's been hard for me to get out there, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, man, so I went out there a couple of days ago. Everything looked like it was moving forward. If we can keep that pace going, I think, man, it'll be a beautiful thing. Then we'll have this house completed, by the midsummer. What's your thoughts on that?
It's possible, man. We're going to be pushing it, but, that's what we shoot for. We'll see.
Right.
We'll see how everything goes.
I think being that it's his personal house, he's just got a one-track mind on how he wants his personal house to be. And it's unfortunate that when he wakes up in the morning, he has one thought, but before the day ends, he may have a whole nother thought on what or how he wants his house to be.
Yeah, this is the house that me and Carl is building. This is my family home, private home. This is the home that we started on together, and this is the house that I wish he would have told me no on.
Mike spent months with the architect designing a house plan. Well, as the house was getting built and framed, Mike looks at it and says, I don't like the front gable because it's too small. It's not grand like the other houses in the neighborhood. So guess what Mike does? He wants to tear the whole front of the house down and rebuild it so it looks grand. And that's what he did.
If we can go back a year ago, I wish Carl would have said no, because like I said, he's a good dude. He's a great guy, but this was just too much for him. When you're talking about a house of this magnitude.
Another change that Mike has made in the house, he goes to a model home one day after he's made the decision of how he wants the staircase to be at his house. But he goes to a model house and he sees that the stairs, they're different than what his is, and he really likes it. So now we've got to go through a whole process of changing the entire staircase on the house to make it like the house that he's seen at the model home, which is going to cost thousands of dollars plus a lot of time.
It just wasn't a good, he just had never done it before, and unfortunately, it was just a situation where, when you ain't done something before, it's going to be trial and error. That's with anything, and we definitely had our trial and errors here.
In Mike's study, he's changed his mind from wanting a sink in the study to not wanting a sink. So we go through the trouble of getting the plumbers to install plumbing in the wall, and it costs quite a bit. And then he goes around and visits different houses, and he says, oh man, none of those houses has sinks in the study. I don't think they're doing wet bars in the study anymore. So guess what Mike does? We cap the plumbing off in the wall, and so that expense is just money down the drain.
Carl did a lot of things here. I mean, he went as far as his knowledge could go. We live and we learn, and, we just, we'll move on to the next one. And hopefully I get in my house sometime soon, and, we make it happen.
In my opinion, it was the constant changes.
The reason I changed my mind because when you're building a house for yourself, it's a lot different than building a house, that you're gonna sell, and with this particular property, this is my house, my personal home, and, I kept asking Carl to meet me at the architect, and as I, started looking at certain things, and when, sometimes on paper, things look different than when they look in actuality. So when he started building the property, I noticed that, this room here wasn't big enough. This gable here wasn't tall enough. The media room wasn't big enough. And so while I'm out in the field, I'm making those adjustments as I'm seeing it come to life. And, these are things, had we, had experienced builders, when I say experienced, someone that's built this type of house, it can be experienced builders that's normally used to building, say, 1,500 to 3,000 square foot houses. But a house of this magnitude, you're talking about almost over 13,000 square feet. It's a different animal. And so, you have to, if you hadn't done it before, it's quite a challenge. So I didn't even realize the challenge that I was up against when I decided to do this.
From day to day, not knowing what he was going to like, what he was going to dislike, it's just a lot of changes. And so, it caused a lot of unneeded stress on my back.
But I didn't waver. I didn't quit. I kept moving forward. I'm going to get it done because that's who I am. That's what I'm about. That's where I'm from. As I said before, we don't quit where I'm from. So, Carl left me holding the 8-ball, but we're going to get it done. And, had we went to the architect together on numerous visits and nailed all these things out on the paper, we wouldn't have made these changes in real life. So, I made some changes. And it's my home. I gotta live here, so I made the changes that were suitable to me.
What happened was we had a shower situation where, when I brought in my tile company to come in and put the tile up, they came in saying, hey, we can't put the tile up with all this green rock up here.
There was some drywall, that I ordered. I take blame for it. So I ordered this drywall from Home Depot.
We got to go with a more of a that material is too porous, meaning you can leak through this. So from what Carl had said, Home Depot had told him that it
it would work. But obviously, you know, from the specs of what the tile company that I use, they wasn't about to put the tile on that material, so they had to end up replacing it all with hardy backer, which is a cementous type material that goes behind the tile.
So the sales guy that we're using there, he recommended a certain product to put in the bathrooms, you know, and so I approved it. So when the drywall got installed in the bathroom, it wasn't a drywall that really was approved or rated to go in the bathrooms on the shower backsplashes.
In the end of the day, you know, we took a hit on that, $4,000 or $5,000 hit.
I took the fault for it. I even paid out of my own pocket to get the right drywall reinstalled. But, you know, at that point, I had it, and I walked away from the job.
And at that point, you know, I think that was the straw that brought the camel back.
The straw that broke the camel's back.
You know, I think that was it right there with Carl. You know, it was already a lot on him, you know, and then when that happened, you know, he, you know, seen that was a real, you know, big mistake. So at that point, he just felt it was best that him and I part ways as far as the building of my house.
And I feel much better today.
Mutually agreed on it, and I felt like, you know, it'll keep us friends at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, being friends and maintaining relationships is way more important than materialistic type things.
You know, hopefully everything turns out great at Mike's house. I really wish him the best, and, you know, maybe in the future, we'll patch things up. We'll see.
Hopefully, you know, we're gonna be able to do business on the other side of Flip This Hood, with the remodeling and the construction side of things. And if not, you know what I'm saying, we'll shake hands, we'll keep staying as family and as brothers, and we'll keep doing what we gotta do.